Good afternoon. My name is Tom Rivera, and today, November the 14th, we are celebrating the Mejia family reunion. It's been about 24 years since the family got together, and today we are having the family reunion at my house, which is located at 23170 Lista Grande Way in Grand Terrace. And this afternoon, we're interviewing Mr. Ernie Avila. Ernie, it's good to see you again. I haven't seen you in such a long time, Ernie. The last time we had the reunion was 24 years ago.
Wow.
Tell me, how are you related to the Mejia family?
Well, I married into it.
Who did you marry?
I married Rachel.
And tell me about, how did you meet Rachel?
Rachel was walking with some girls down the street. That was with a friend of mine.
Down the street?
So we picked them up to take them for a ride.
Was this in Santa Paula?
In Santa Paula.
And what year was that, Ernie?
We got married in 56. It had to be 54 or 55.
And then, yes, ¿cómo se llama? Your wife, I forgot her name.
Rachel.
Rachel is the daughter of Lita. She's the oldest daughter of Lita.
Right.
And Lita is Lita Mejia. And she was one of the 12 Mejia family members.
Right.
And anyway, you met her, you saw them down the street, and tell me, was she hard to play ¿le tienes que rogar? Did you have to beg her to?
Well, sometimes she couldn't come out. I never went to the house.
¿Por qué? Why?
I was afraid of her grandpa.
Why were you afraid of her?
Well,
Tell me about her grandpa.
He was a nice guy.
¿Cómo se llamaba?
Sisto Robles.
Okay.
Pero Sisto Robles had a look like you better behave or else. So I was afraid to even go by the house. So
And how old were you when you started dating Rachel?
I had to be 19.
Well, you were a young kid.
And I had to wait in the corner. I'd wait for hours and she wouldn't come out, so I'd go home.
And she wouldn't come out, and so you would wait, and she would not show up.
She would not show up.
And then you'd do it again the next day.
And the next day I'd try again. And then she'd come out for a while, and it worked that way for a while, back and forth.
And tell me, when did you guys get married?
We got married in September the 21st, 1956.
So how many years have you been married, Ernie?
Last September was 59.
Congratulations, it's almost 60. What about, how many kids do you guys have?
We only had one. We only had 3 kids.
And who are they?
It was Richard, Tony, and Joanne.
And Joanne. And how many grandkids do you have?
Wow. 6. Offhand, I can't remember exactly.
Más o menos.
Mama knows the total, but I forget. Sometimes I have too many, and sometimes not enough.
La bola, Ernie, la bola.
and then I have 6 great-grandkids. And Joseph is the oldest, and he lives with us.
Oh, he does. And Joseph is a junior in high school?
He's a junior in high school now. Junior, freshman, sophomore. No, junior.
Okay, a junior in high school. Yeah.
Well, anyway.
Now, let me ask you, let me shift gears. You are from Santa Paula. Were you born and raised in Santa Paula?
I was raised there. I was born there too.
And Rachel was born in Santa Paula also?
Actually, she was born in San Jose.
Okay.
But she was raised there in town.
Okay.
She was born in San Jose because they were picking the crops. Ciruela.
A la ciruela. Okay. And then
That's where she was born.
In Santa Paula, after you guys got married, where did you work in Santa Paula? Did you work for the city of Santa Paula?
Well, I worked as a pruner in the lemon orchards.
Okay.
When I started.
All right.
And I was 16 at the time.
You're a little kid.
And my dad taught me how to prune trees. And then after that, we got married, and I was still pruning.
Uh-huh.
And I thought, this is not going to cut it.
Uh-huh.
So finally, I went to work for a auto dealer. Back then, we still had Studebakers.
Uh-huh.
So I worked for the Studebaker dealer. And then after a few years there, I went to work for the city, Santa Paula.
Uh-huh.
Then I worked there 32 years.
That was a long time.
And then I retired.
When did you retire? Tell me.
I retired in, I think it was in August of 97.
And describe what you're doing now in your retirement.
Well, I was doing it. I was going to relax for a while, and then I was going to start fixing this, fixing that, doing
Okay.
whatever.
Okay.
And then here comes the great-grandson. Not only was he born, but a year later, after he was born, he came to live with us. So we've raised him.
So you've raised a lot of grandkids.
And he's like my own.
Well, you know, you and Rachel are the salt of the earth. I mean, you guys are just tremendous because you not only raise your kids, but also you raise your
Grandkids.
and now you raise your great-grandkids. So you guys are the salt of the earth.
Well,
You just don't quit. You just don't quit.
I guess it was meant to be.
I guess so. Yeah, we're lucky that.
And I have no regrets.
Well, you shouldn't because we're lucky that you became part of the Mejia family.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was kind of hesitant there for a while.
Why?
But because I didn't know anybody.
Uh-huh.
And I thought, all the way over there to San Bernardino? And when I came and I met the family, I wanted to come back again.
Yeah, mañana.
Yeah, I didn't hesitate anymore.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And now you live in Santa Paula, and you folks are established in Santa Paula.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We've even got a little property there up at the west end of Santa Paula,
Well,
where everybody goes eventually.
okay. So Boot Hill.
Good Hill.
Boot Hill.
Yeah. And it's,
Well, what I appreciate about you is when I visit Santa Paula, you roll out the red carpet for me.
oh,
And
definitely.
you bring out that door that we make it to a ramp so we can get into your house and enjoy Rachel's frijoles and her rice and her
yeah.
chicken and her tortilla. Gee, that's
Oh,
really
yeah.
a wonderful treat. Yeah. Tell me about, you've been married 59 years.
59.
59 years. What is the best memory that you have of those 59 years that you've been married?
The best memory.
Yeah,
Okay.
one of the best, or 2 or 3 or 4, or maybe the 59 years. What is the best memory that you've had?
Maybe being a parent for the first time.
Describe that feeling.
Well, I was just anxious, you know, like a young kid waiting for his ice cream. And then he came about and he turned out to be a boy.
And what was his name?
Actually, his name was Ernest. His first name was Ernest,
Okay,
and then his second name was Anthony.
okay.
But as he grew up, he didn't want Ernest anymore. He wanted Anthony.
Oh,
So
that's okay.
he was Tony.
But that's okay.
But that's
He
okay.
was still learning.
Yeah.
He was still learning. So that's one of the best experiences that you remember being a parent, being a father.
Well, taking him to Little League and then coming home and bringing him something from my lunch for them to have, a goodie. That's basically
So
really.
you've enjoyed being a grandfather. And again, what is the best thing about being a grandfather? Tell us what you feel the best thing.
Well, the best thing is that he's a part of you.
Uh-huh.
He's just another, like they took him out of me and Rachel,
Uh-huh.
and there he is.
So he's part of you.
Yep.
He's part of you.
We've even done our DNA. Of course, we didn't do it back then, because I don't think they did it. But we got the grandkids. And not the grand. We got this one boy's DNA.
Well,
And
who is
it's
this one?
interesting.
Who is this one big boy?
He's part German.
Who's he?
Steven.
Steven, the last name?
Steven Hinson.
Caramba. But he's your grandson?
He's my grandson.
Yeah. And so, like you said, the best time is really being not only a parent but also a grandparent. Right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
A grandparent.
That's right.
Yeah. And my last question is, what's the best part, or what's the best memory that you have growing up in Santa Paula?
You know, the best memory growing up in Santa Paula was being able to play outdoors. See, back then we didn't have TV. We didn't have those little games.
Yeah. Cell phones.
Cell phone, none of that. So we had radios, but they were the big box radios.
See.
You couldn't take them outside or with you. So you'd play outside, you'd play with slingshots, you'd play with kites, you even made your own.
You made your own toys. Yeah.
And we play out in the field. There was no massive housing at the time, like today. You have to go for miles to find a neutral spot.
So that was the best
That was
thing.
the best time of my life.
Very good.
Not having anything was the best time of my life. Because I had to make my toys. I had a hand-me-down bicycle. And we had a wagon.
What about clothing? Did you have hand-me-down clothing también?
También. Well, not me, because I was the seventh born, and I was too young for the older guys. So their stuff I couldn't wear. And whatever I didn't wear, no, whatever I had, I wore it to the last thread. So there was no hand-me-down. My shoes, one pair of shoes for the whole year, mind you.
Yes.
And that was leather shoes. We didn't have tennis shoes back then. When tennis shoes came out, I wanted tennis shoes. No tennis shoes. Why? Because your feet are going to smell. So no tennis shoes, no shoes twice. One pair of shoes for the whole year, school year. I'd go around barefooted some part of the time.
So you had a wonderful memory growing up in Santa Paula,
yeah.
a rural area
Yeah.
where you kind of entertained yourself and you made your own toys. So it seemed like you described a wonderful place to grow up in.
It was.
It was?
Those days are over for the city dwellers. Right?
Right. But you know, Ernie, you and I are still here. Yeah, estamos viejitos, but we're still kicking around. We're still kicking around, yeah.
We'll kick around as long as we can.
Yeah, I know we will. Well, listen, thank you so much for giving us a few minutes of interviewing and telling us how you're related to the Mejia family. Thank you, Ernie.
Right. Thank you. You're my best buddy.
Got it?